Hello everybody, this is the Empirical Audiophile. Today I want to tell you about something that I bought that really opened up my eyes as a little tweak. Now, tweaks are kind of funny that you do to your system because the fact of some work and some don't. Some are placebo. It depends on each individual, on their systems, how good your system is. And I do remember that the system that you see behind me with the LTEX and all, a lot of times Chicago Audio Society would come over and listen to something only because they wanted to find out, was it truly doing something? Did it make a difference? Because when you get a system like this, even though the speakers are 47 years old, I've owned them since day one, pulled them out of the box since day one I bought them. And the Conrad Johnson, even though it's 23 years old, okay, it's analytical. That's one thing. It's the synergy between the Conrad Johnson and the LTEX, along with Kimber cable and everything else. It's just there. And a lot of people were surprised at the synergy that the system has. And that's hard to achieve. That's why people keep changing speakers and changing amps, because the synergy is very hard to find between a product and your speakers and cable. And you're trying to find the right kind of synergy, and during that time you keep changing, okay? But one thing about the system is it's analytical. I like that. I like listening to little nuisances. I like listening to things that really pop out, that really grab you in a system, things that sound real. That's the whole reason I'm an audiophile. I like the realism of, if the CD has been done right, I listen to CDs. I don't even stream music. It's either CDs or records. And if it's done right, you will get instruments and stuff that have that bite or have that realism or have that dynamic impact and no distortion. And I like that. And I've gotten used to it. That's why I never got rid of the LTEX. And I've only improved them to the point I brought them up to the same category as brand new speakers with very little outlay. Because why buy brand new when there's nothing wrong with the old? All they need to do is update it. But that's a whole nother video. The point of it is I like seeing if some of the things I buy will work. Like right now, you could have a Appian super tweeter here, and it's an air motion transformer dual firing super tweeter, and it fires from the front and back. And I did a video on a super tweeter that only fired forward, same company. This one fires front and back. So I've been trying that out to add to the horn, because the horn rolls off the highs. The highs are there, but you can tell they're being rolled off, okay? And so the bass is going up to 800 hertz, and then from 800 on up, the horn takes over. But I have the super tweeter set at about 8,000 kilohertz, to do the highs, to bring back what the horn is rolling off on. And a lot of people have said that for a long time. The LTEX always needed a tweeter onto them, because yes, they play the highs, but they kind of roll the high off a little bit. And that is something that for 47 years, everyone's always said that. Where Klipsch has always put a tweeter onto their horns to help and aid in that mid-range to bring the highs back up, so it's not rolling off. So that's why I've been getting these super tweeters. But I'll get in that in another video of what I think about this particular super tweeter. the one that's dual firing. But anyway, I did a couple mods to the speaker. So I'm an audiophile that likes to analytical. I'll admit it, that's what I like. I want to hear everything that's on that CD. That's why I don't stream. A lot of people said, well, if you stream, no, you're not going to get the same quality as a CD. It's going to be good, but not the same quite quality as a CD. A good CD gives you a lot more information than if you stream the music. So I never really got into streaming because I have thousands of CDs and thousands of records. So it doesn't make sense for me to stream music because I got what I want. And if something comes up new, I'll buy it. I don't need to stream music and pay every month for something when I got thousands of CDs that I can tap into my library, and same with records. So because I like analytical sound, and this system is that way, it's analytical, placement of instruments, sound staging, the impact, the clarity of the system doesn't cause you to cause fatigue. And I said that in my videos, how I got that harshness away from the horns, where it doesn't give you fatigue. You can listen to the system and it doesn't fatigue you, where, okay, I'm done, listening. It doesn't do that. The system doesn't do that because of the synergy of the Conrad Johnson along with the LTEX and the upgrades I did to the LTEX and the Kimber cable. There's a synergy there that's hard to explain to people, and that's what we're all seeking. To buy a system, it doesn't matter at what price range, and to find that synergy, that's the hard part of systems. So it doesn't matter what people say about a speaker or an amp. If you don't have synergy between the amp, cables, speaker, you're not going to be happy. So I've gotten used to horns. And I like that detail. I like the human voice. I don't want the human voice to be big like you would get off of a Martin Logan speaker. I want it to be, the human voice is small. It is a small mouth. The saxophone has an opening. You want to hear the bite out of it. That's what I call it. That real saxophone punch you get, or clarinet, or guitar. And I guess you could say I'm very anal about that because I'm so used to it. And when I hear other systems that don't do it, they can sound good, but so does a Wurlitzer jukebox sound great, right? We'll all admit to that. Yeah, you hear a Wurlitzer jukebox and it's like, whoa, does that sound good? Is that the kind of system you want? That sounds good? Or do you want a system that can portray things realistically? Now, it's not going to portray everything because that's not the way CDs are or music is, because we can't do it yet. Like I was just at the Florida show, and I didn't hear anything that impressed me as, wow, does that sound real? No, these 47-year-old LTECs sound just as good as what I went to the show. So where have we come in 47 years? That's basically what I'm saying. Same way with the Conrad Johnson. It's 23 years old or so. I didn't hear anything that was impressive where I would say, wow, I guess it's time to move on. And I'll probably be going to the show in Chicago. Technology is not moving at the speed of light. It is now at a snail's pace. And it's pretty sad when you think about a 47-year-old speaker that I've owned ever since day one. You do a few modifications to it, and it sounds as great or better than speakers being made today. That's kind of sad if you think about it. But technology can only change so much. And we still aren't at the point where you could stream music or put a CD in or a record in and you can sit there and say, wow, that sounds real. What price point do you get to that point? Do you have to spend $100,000, $200,000? I see videos of people with $500,000 worth of gear, and you know, do you have that kind of money? You want to spend $1 million? You know, turntables going for $40,000 or $120,000, or you know, it's like, I don't have that kind of money. I'm sure you don't. So the best I can do is CDs. They're the closest I'm going to get. And even then, I have a transport, a DA converter, all Conrad Johnson. Everything is tubes. My DA converter is tubes. My preamp is tubes. My amp is tubes. Everything is tubes. The transport is not tubes. But so that's what I concentrate on. Something that I can have control over at a price point is what I'm saying. So when I play CDs and I listen to something, I may listen to something and really feel excited about it. Like for example, I'll give you some example. Like here, we have the CD here. It's Casper. And track 4, First Haunting, and you got track 6, The Lighthouse. You know, that's the name of it. Okay, like track 4. If you have the CD and you have a good system, one thing it's going to do right away is tell you your lows, because the lows go very low with this CD, and you're going to hear that. How clean are the lows going? How precise are they? And the highs, you're going to have tinkling noise, you're going to have high frequencies, which helps if you have a super tweeter. It sounds great, okay? But it puts your system through a little test of how well is your system going to perform with bass, low bass, and another thing this does is dynamics. So it comes to a section in track 4 where it just shows you the 98 dB dynamics. You literally can jerk in your chair. It just comes out at you. Horns do that. They just come out at you like, and it can make you jerk. I like that. That's neat. I like listening to sound along with the music. That is why I'm an audiophile. That gives you an example. Another example I'll give you for a CD, for example, The Thing. Okay, it's a movie, and you're probably thinking, there's not much on the soundtrack to The Thing. And but there is on track 8, Humanity, part 3. And that's what we all recognize as The Thing from the sound, that bass guitar that starts, you know, boom, boom, boom. Now, you play that loud enough, like I play it about at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. And that just like is eerie listening to that, listening to where it is in space and that impact it gives you. It's like, wow, that's what horns do. And I like that. And I don't want to surrender those to streaming music. I want to hear it. Same thing with another CD, probably most people wouldn't give it 2 looks. You wouldn't even pick it up off the shelf, this CD. It was a movie. I think it had Brad Pitt in it, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it had Brad Pitt in it. But the music score to this, like track number 3 called Dark Kitchen, and they used the original long Buddhist long horns that they play. Those are in it, along with, let's see, what was the other one? The other one is the 13th Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama just means ocean of knowledge, okay? Those 2 tracks, when you listen to those horns, and they almost look like they're in your room. You know what I mean? That they're so tight and they're so impactful. It's like, damn, that sounds good. You know, a lot of people may not like that. It's being very analytical. If you put a CD on that is bad, it's going to tell you that's bad. You put a record on that's bad. That's the bad thing about a system like this. Bad CDs sound bad. Good CDs sound good, and great CDs sound great. So, some people don't like that. They want to listen to their old time music and remember what it was. I remember putting on a Beach Boys, and my wife was like, I never knew that was in there. I never heard that before. Analytical. You know what I mean? Some people don't like that. But yeah, it's so analytical. It's like, wow, does that sound good? I never knew it sounded like that. That's what you're looking for. But another one is Jazz at the Pawn Shop, whether you put Limehouse Blues or whether you put the High Life. High Life is one that most people will know, that particular piece. And you get the realism of the xylophone or whatever. I like hearing that. Because I use CDs, I have found that in order to make the CD sound a little bit better with my transport, the Conrad Johnson, I use disc. So I get the CD, you put this on top of your CD, and you put it in there, and these are like stabilizers. They've been around for years. Some of them cost over $100. This probably, when I bought it, I've used it for years and years, maybe 30, 35 bucks, not that much. And you were supposed to take this particular CD and put it up to a light, and then it would glow green, like when you're a little kid, your watch glow, and then you'd put it on top of your CD and put that in your changer, and it was supposed to help enhance the sound of your CD, help stabilize it, enhance the sound. And yes, it does work. Depending on your system, it does work. It's not a placebo. It's not snake oil. How much you get out of it will depend on your system. But the CD now, this little tool here that I use, it's old. And it's copyrighted in January of 1996, to tell you how old this is. So you put it up to light. It may glow a little bit for 5 seconds or 15 seconds, and then it goes away. But I use it as a stabilizer, and it seems to work okay. It's better than running a CD just by itself. And some people, when they used to do reviews, would try to find out if they can improve their CDs by adding something on top, like I just showed you. It's called an Audio Prism CD blacklight. Okay. And it came in the package here, and it was for to enhance, to add more precision to your music, okay? Now, I've been doing that for years and years and years, using that for my CD player, and it seems to work, and it seems to add something. So that's one little tweak I do. But then the other day, I was looking at Amazon, and I thought CD stabilizers. I'll Google it. I'll leave a link below in case you're interested. And because I still listen to CDs, have thousands of CDs, I thought, I wonder if they still make CD stabilizers, because CDs are kind of going out, but they're starting to come back in. And my transport benefits from them. And you'll notice that some CD transport, they'll actually have a weight that you can put on top of the CD and then close the top. And they actually add a weight to stabilize the CD so you can get better sound and you can get more detail out of the CD. That's why you do it, okay? On my transport, since it's just a drawer that opens up, you put the CD, I put something on top to try to help it. Well, when I was looking through Amazon, I typed in CD stabilizer, and boom, they still make them, okay? And I found a CD stabilizer, $9. And it's made out of carbon fiber. At least they say it's carbon fiber. And it comes in a very nice little package here. let me get it out of the package for you. It comes in a very nice package. Doesn't say who makes it. Probably made in China. It says nothing. You buy it for $9, and it's carbon fiber. It's a CD stabilizer. So for $9, I figured, what? If it doesn't work, $9. I don't care. So I bought it. I thought, okay, I'm going to listen to some music. I'll use that instead of my old one. And I put it on, and this is during the day, and excuse me, I'm listening to my system, and it's like, wow, system sounds great. You know, have you ever had that time where you had your system and it sounds great? For some reason, the electrical gods are all doing you a favor, and the stars are all lined up correctly, and the planets are whatever. We all have that. It's all been said, where sometimes you play your system and it just sounds wonderful. It may be during the day, maybe during the night, but it sounds great. And it sounded great. And it's like, wow, it sounds clear. It even sounds louder. Wow, I thought, man, more detail, more of everything. Okay. Next day, I thought I'd try it again. I was lucky. Go listen to music. Put on the little stabilizer, played the system. Happened again. Wow, 2 days in a row, I lucked out. Man, I don't know what it is, but system sounds great once again. Sounds louder, clear. Wow, this is great. And after I was done listening to the music for an hour or whatever, I usually sit down and listen to music. 2 or 3 days later, did the same thing. Got a CD out I wanted to listen to, put the CD stabilizer on it. Same thing happened. Then all of a sudden I'm wondering, no, this, it can't be. This doesn't happen this often where you get that magic out of your system. It just doesn't happen. Like I said, we all have witnessed that. 3 times in a row, no. So what I did is I thought, well, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's the stabilizer helping. So I went and I put the CD Blacklight is what it's called. I went and put this stabilizer back on the CD. And I was purposely listening to the soundtrack to Casper, track number 4. And so I put this on, played it. It sounded good. Okay, I played it just enough where I get enough information of dynamics, the bass, the treble, the high frequencies. Then I stopped it. I replaced it with this. All of a sudden, everything sounded louder, clearer. The placement of instruments were there better, tighter. It was really like, whoa, this sounds good. So I pulled it out, put this one back in. That's what it was. As good as I thought this was, I'm being honest with you, I didn't think this would make a difference. This is far heavier than this piece of, because I'm analytical, I like the analytical sound. All of a sudden, different instruments got spread out and you can hear them better. It almost sounded like you turned the system up louder. It sounded clearer, more dynamic. It's like, whoa, it's just the disc. It's just a stabilizer. What the hell is it doing? Compared to my old stabilizer. That's the only difference. I was moving the 2 stabilizers from CD to CD, same CD, and that's what I found out. That's the reason the system was sounding so damn good. It's a stabilizer. So I do realize, yeah, there are some shortcomings with the Conrad Johnson CD transport, but adding this really improved what the transport can do. Almost like I bought a brand new transport. Really, it made that much of a difference. I was like shocked. So I tried it again. It did the same thing. Apparently that stabilizer for $9 just trumps all over this old stabilizer I had and does a great job. And I wanted to make a video about it because I was so excited. Now, I will say in conclusion that if you use CDs and you have a CD transport, will this make a huge difference in your system? My system was very analytical. That's why the Chicago Audio Society would use it to test out some stuff, because if it doesn't do anything on my system, the odds are it's not going to do anything. So it's very analytical on how it plays. And if something's going to work, it will work on my system. If it's not going to work, then it won't work on my system. So it's not the emperor's new clothes, is what I'm saying. So for $9, if you're a CD junkie like me and you like playing your CDs, for $9, it can't hurt to go on Amazon and order one. It's only $9. Order one and see what it does with your system. Now, I'm not just going to sit here and say, I guarantee this is going to change your life, because I don't know your system. You know, this is high-end equipment. This Conrad Johnson Premier equipment is high-end equipment. It's the best equipment Conrad Johnson made. Okay, the LTECs that you see here, they have been modified. I'm an aerospace engineer. I modified them without modifying the crossover by putting new wires. That's all in previous videos, what I did. So they sound far, far superior than what LTEC originally made them. Okay, they do. And I explained that in previous videos, to get them to sound, bring them up to what we would consider modern standards. And for me, there is just no reason to buy a new speaker and replace them. They just sound that good for being 47 years old. So because I'm using like Kimber Cable Silver, I'm using these old LTECs with this old Premier, it just sounds beautiful. As Conrad Johnson said, if you can't get that first watt right, it doesn't matter if you have 160 watts. If you can't get that first watt right, forget it. Because you're only using 2 or 3 watts. And if you can't get that right, forget the 157 that's behind it. Because you can't get the first one. So you really got to concentrate when you make equipment to get that first watt or 2 absolutely right before you start adding more distortion, going up in wattage. The good thing of it is horns are so efficient, like these are 97 dB. It doesn't take much to get them to start playing at all at 97 dB. That's the old trick that Klipsch did with the 104 dB or whatever. They are using that first watt or 2 to the most advantage, so you don't have to crank it up. So if I can hear this making a huge difference, it makes music for myself just sound so much better. The instruments become tighter, more air around the instruments. There's just, it's like I said, it sounds louder, but it can't be louder. I still have the setting, let's say at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. I haven't changed it. Why does it sound louder? It made a difference. $9. It's like, holy cow, I got to let people know that if you're still a CD nut, buy it. So that's it for this video. I can't say any more about it. I'll leave a link below in case you're interested in maybe buying one of these discs that seems to have made a big difference. But like I said, it depends on your system. If you have a mediocre system, maybe it won't make a difference. And you'll buy it and say, oh, it's, snake oil. If you have a top-notch system and you do have a decent transport and a DA converter and everything like this is all tube, even the DA converters to, you can hear a difference. So that's what I'm saying. So don't think that I'm telling you something, you buy it and you waste your $9. Well, it doesn't do anything on my system. Well, I don't know, about your system and how your speakers are, what kind of cabling you're using, the synergy of your system. If it's there, you're going to hear a difference using this on your CDs. So until next time, this is an empirical audio file. I hope this little, what can I say, tweak for $9 makes a huge difference in your system. And I will be doing a review on the motion transformer super tweeters I got that fire forward and backwards. And I'm going to show you another little something I did to the horns that really made a huge difference. Another jump in sound quality. And all these years, I kind of am mad at myself. Why didn't I do this, 20, 30 years ago? But I'll explain to you what I did. But until next time, this is Empirical Audio File. Thank you for watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll try to get another video out as soon as possible. Until next time, happy listening.